Hi guys! So I'm back today to do another book tag, and this one is the Inside and Out book tag. It's newer to the booktubing community, and I first saw this over on Heather's book review channel. I will link her down below. She does awesome videos. I think you guys would definitely love her if you're not already subscribed to her. And yeah, so I will link her channel down below where you can see this video and watch any others you would like. And I will also link down below the creators of this tag, who are MathomBooks, and it's, I believe, two brothers, I think, that do videos here on YouTube, so you should definitely check them out as well. I will link theirs down below. So they created the book tag, but I saw it from Heather's book review channel, so I decided I needed to try and do this because it looks really cool. It's not like your typical tag. It's actually an acronym, so I won't be saying like question 1 or question 2. It's kind of like, it says inside and out down the side, and then each letter stands for something, so that's how I will answer the question. So with that said, let's get started. Inside flap back of the book. Summaries. Too much info or not enough? I think that usually the flaps on the inside of the book, they summarize it. They don't summarize it too much, but not too little. I find that based on, like, there is a difference between the ones that you read inside and on the back. The ones on the back of the book gives you kind of a summary of what to expect, but at the same time, it doesn't like go into too much detail. And I find that when I read the ones on the inside of the flap, they do go in a little bit more detail. You really know like exactly what to expect, what's going to happen, and it doesn't reveal like too much though, but it gets me, I feel more intrigued to read the book because now you really know what's going to be going on. So I think it's just the right amount of information. N. New book. What form do you want it in? And be honest. Audiobook, ebook, paperback, or hardcover? I have said this quite a bit on my channel, but I prefer hardback. I don't know if that's because, I mean, I do have this terrible habit of, like, once you get smack in the middle of the book, it's like the perfect thing because you can open it and it just lays flat against something and you don't have to, like, hold it down. Not trying to be sounding lazy or anything, but, I don't know. That's also a perk of it, but I just think they look more than anything nicer on a bookshelf, and I don't know, I just tend to gravitate when I look at books. I kind of like the hardcover, even though I can't always afford them more so, but that's the ones I prefer. S. Scribble while you read. Do you like to write in your books, taking notes, making comments, or do you keep your books clean, clean, clean? I do not like to scribble in my books. I have this like huge fear of doing it. The only books I will scribble in are like textbooks, really, if I need to make notes. But even then, I don't know. I don't write too much in the book. I highlight and then I'll make notes on the side for those type of things. But when it comes to like a book like just one of these, what I'll do is if like now where I make videos, if I want to talk about something, I don't want to forget what I wanted to talk about, I just write it on a sticky note and like write down all the key points that I want to discuss, and then when I'm done with the book, I'll just stick it to the back, and that's that. I do not like to write in my books. I like to try to keep them as clean as I possibly can. So, yeah. In your best voice, read for us your favorite first sentence from a book. So, kind of thinking back to my books, I thought of The Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. It's, I don't know why I remembered this, but it's like probably one of the shortest sentences I've read from a book that like really caught my attention. And I think that if an author can do that with just like well, how many words is it? Like with 8 words or less, I think that's awesome. So I give her props for like reeling me in that first sentence, and it's not even that long. So here it goes. I felt her fear before I heard her scream. So yeah, that's the voice I got. D. Does it matter to you whether the author is male or female when you're deciding on a book? What if you're unsure of the author's gender? No, I've honestly never gone to a bookstore and picked out a book and went, oh, no, a guy wrote this. I cannot read it. I think as long as the story is good, it doesn't matter whether it was male or female. I think I typically have more female writer books, but that's because it's probably the genre type. But I love like Nicholas Sparks, John Green. Who else do I have? I know I've got some more. But I mean, I've got a lot of like mystery ones on my bottom shelf that are by authors that are male. So I love mystery books. And yeah, I don't think it's like a preference for me either way, so yeah. E. Ever read ahead, or have you ever read the last page way before you got there? Ooh, okay, so if we're making like confession time here, I used to have the worst habit of reading the last page before I would get there. So like I'd get halfway through the book and I would just have to know something, so I'd read the back, or like I would read ahead. But the last couple of years, I've gotten really better with that because I find like I love it when I'm more surprised at what happens. Even though it kills you, it just makes you want to read the book that much faster. So I did before, like years ago when I don't know, but like when I was like 12 or around that age, and I would always do that, and my mom would always tell me that my dad did that, so I must have like picked up the habit or something. But now I tend to not do it as much because I want to be surprised, and I don't like ruining the surprise for me, so not anymore. Oh, organized bookshelves or outrageous bookshelves? Well, as you guys could probably tell, pretty organized. I mean, I don't know if I've got it in a particular pattern, but I think I gravitated like more on the ones on my top two shelves are like my favorite books. And I've got like some standalone books down here that are mostly paperback. I tried to keep them organized on each shelf by height, but sometimes it didn't work out. But that's one thing I hate. When you begin a series, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. When I have like the first part of the series in paperback and then the next in hardback, so they like kind of go up in height. So that's the only thing I don't like my Great and Terrible Beauty series. I bought the first two in paperback and the third is in hardback, so it just goes up. I don't know why, but that drives me nuts. So, I mean, for the most part, I try to keep it organized. So, yeah. You, under oath, have you ever bought a book based on the cover alone? This is kind of a weird question because, I mean, I've never, like, walked into a bookstore and picked up a book and thought, like, oh, the cover's cool. Well, let's take it and go. It is the cover that initially draws me in, but I read the back of the book, too. So, the cover can be as pretty as it wants, but if it doesn't sound interesting, it's going back on the shelf. It's the synopsis. If it sounds good to me and I know I want to read it, that's what makes me buy a book. But I will admit that it's the cover that draws me in typically, unless it's like a recommendation, I'm just looking for a book. But usually it's the covers and like this. I mean, that's what you see first when you see a book, right, is the cover. So it does draw me in, but it won't be like the deciding factor if I buy the book. T, take it outside to read or stay in? I typically stay in when I read because if I go outside, I get so easily distracted. I can't really read outside. I would love to just take a blanket and lay out on my front lawn. And I used to do that all the time when I lived with my parents. And it was like, we had not like a big backyard, but it was fenced in. So I would always just take a blanket out and read, and like a nice summer day, and it was perfect. I don't have a backyard here, and my front yard is, I don't know, like it's like a little patch of grass in the front, and my neighbor's kids are always out, and they like run around and do all these crazy stuff, so it's kind of distracting for me to read outside. So the only times I will read outside is if I'm like at the pool or going to a beach, and those are really the only two times I will read outside. And typically, like if I am at the pool, if I'm laying out, I like my iPod more, so it's kind of like 50-50 with that. But I prefer to stay in and read because I'm more comfortable indoors. So yeah, that was the Inside and Out book tag. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you guys do this as well. If you haven't already, I tag all of you fabulous people, and thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and leave any comments down below on your thoughts and opinions, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!